I don't think this will be as hard on my system resources either. Let's see. It says we are live. Hold on, let me see.
Hey,
Are we live this time? Are we like, dude?
I see that red. I see that red button thing says live.
Okay. We're just jumping on the
Are
stream.
we in the same reality right now?
Let's do a deep cleansing breath. We're starting over again. We're not using eCamera at the moment. We're using Zoom. So hopefully this works. All right. So let's start over. Yeah. So for y'all that don't know, basically the reason why I have Lisa today is Risa today is because you're asking me a ton of questions offline, and I just thought it would be really helpful to like kind of cover these questions because you're just starting with YouTube. So since I unlisted the previous video, why don't you just give an intro about yourself, how you started your YouTube channel, and all that again while I upload a thumbnail for us.
Okay. Well, you have to upload that thumbnail. So for all those who are watching on the replay or now, my name is Risa Ru, but on my channel it goes by Risa Ru. It started out when I hit up Kevin through one of his live streams because I was thinking about doing YouTube. I mean, if you hear about it, it's like a lucrative business, you would say. And I just couldn't figure out what niche to go into. So Kevin was really kind enough to hit me up, and we did like a one-on-one session. And he walked me through Ikigai, which is basically he basically asked me a series of questions to figure out like what my niche was, and basically it came down to my niche being LGBT dating community. And the reason why I've chosen that niche is because, well, there's really not a whole lot of resources available for anybody in that area or in that minority. And in my own personal experience, if I'm trying to find like dating advice, a lot of it out there, when you Google it, is all geared towards heterosexuals. So in my past years, I've found resources and had to lean on it for, advice for guys dating girls or trying to find girls. So unfortunately, a lot of it can be misogynistic and that sort of thing. But that's the reason why I'm providing that content here on YouTube.
Yeah, that's really cool that you're taking something that, because you're telling me before, you're like, I give dating advice all the time. I was like, cool.
I mean, I don't know how like great it is, but I think it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do that casually on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool. Just kind of doing that exercise of the Ikigai and all that sort of stuff, and just seeing like how it showed up on each of the columns. So if you guys are new to Ikigai, it's like 4 questions. It's like you're trying to figure out what you're good at, what you can get paid for, what the world needs or something like that, and what you're good at. Did I say that already?
You already said that.
What's the other one? What you're good at.
I'm gonna look it up.
I can't remember. What you're good at, what you get paid for.
What the world needs.
What the world needs. And then what was the last one? Anyways, it popped up in all 4 of those.
Maybe something that you're passionate about? I don't know.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But it was really kind of cool just diving into that as well. So, yeah. So, cool. Just clearing out some last minute stuff. Are we getting comments at the moment or not really?
I'm looking at the chat. I'm not sure if it's like linked on YouTube, but I don't see any. It doesn't even tell me like who's watching either. Like it doesn't tell me a counter of anybody.
Let me check mobile too.
Oh, and so if anybody is watching, I did look it up. So it's what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. Yeah. So just because like you're good at something doesn't mean that you actually like it.
That's true. Just like pharmacy for me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're live. So yeah, I think there's something weird like with streaming on Zoom where it like screws up the algorithm and might not let people know that we're live. But okay. That's fine. I'm okay with that, guys. If you guys are tuning in, make sure to drop a message so I know that this is actually working as well. So that'd be really cool. But anyways, let's kind of dive into your channel. I know that you were interested. You had a few questions for me. What's going on for you at the moment right now?
Okay, so like, I should have like wrote out the questions.
Okay.
But I guess like my first one is like time management. I know when I was watching, so I bought Charlie Chang's YouTube
Yeah.
course, and one of his videos was saying that like in 3 hours you can get a YouTube video up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, that is speedy. I find it like I have to like take like an entire day to script my video and then another day to record and then edit it.
Yeah. Okay. So like your bottleneck with time, and what's your main goal at the moment for like a YouTube channel right now?
I mean, like at the end of the day, I would like to be monetized. So getting that
1K, 4,000.
1K, exactly.
4,000 watch.
But like my personal like goal would be to try and just upload once a week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And like let's take a look at your channel right now. So let's kind of go in here. This is Lisa, this is your channel. And so far have you posted what's your posting schedule like at the moment right now?
I aim every Thursday. I know last week I wasn't able to do it because of my work schedule. But I'm aiming for every Thursday right now. Okay,
great. And so we see in like on the back end, you told me how many subscribers do you have at the moment right now?
I have 26.
26. Okay. So your videos are actually doing pretty well, unless you're watching them like
no, I'm not.
Unless you watch this one 200 if you're like watching 233 but
refresh.
No, but your videos are doing pretty well. It tells me that
really I don't know, like 25. I think that's my lowest video. I don't know, like maybe you can tell me, but like I was like, damn, these are low. Okay. But this is my first, YouTube like channel.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, I think you're doing like just based off everything right now. Like, I mean, we're not working with a lot of data, so I think like that's pretty cool. How's engagement for you as well?
Geez, I would have to look at my analytics to take a look at that because I mean, you're more into the analytics than I am.
I'll dive into analytics a little bit.
But like I told you before, like, I'm so new that right now all I'm focused on is like building my content rather than like my analytics. Cause like you said, I don't have a whole lot of data to work off of.
And what's your biggest bottleneck at the moment right now in terms of the whole YouTube process?
I mean, honestly, yeah. Okay. So like creating videos, obviously.
Okay.
Just like it's really time consuming and I really wish it would go faster. I mean, like I'm busy because I work 40 hours a week. So that's, and then trying to fit this in. I would like for it to be a faster process.
Yeah.
I think the step that takes a lot of time is like scripting and like researching.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think like after my first video, I was like, ooh, I shouldn't, because like it ended up being really long and I don't think it should have been really long because it was like 14-minute video and where I was like trying to, because I was winging it and I was trying to basically find words on the spot. Scripting like made things go, recording made it go so much faster because like I actually knew what was it that I was going to say and like what's going to stay in the video. And that's like why Charlie Chang had recommended scripting when you first started. But so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Scripting, I do research a little bit, kind of help find the words that I want to use, phrasing. So that was me yesterday, just like on my laptop, just typing up stuff. And today was video, like recording. It does take a lot of energy, I have to say, because like you have to like, it's for anybody who is watching and has never done YouTube or I guess have recorded videos, like it actually takes a lot of energy to be yourself in front of a camera because it's not normal to speak to an inanimate object that is not replying to you. So you have to like mentally be in this right headspace and also present that energy because you have to be able to convey the energy through the camera.
It's definitely not easy. And it's like, dude, I don't know how many videos I had to shoot till I felt comfortable in front of the camera, but it's a lot.
Yeah. But like, you see, like you and I, like we're talking right now, it's so different from if I was just talking to my camera. Cause like I am having a conversation with you.
Dude, I should show you some of my outtakes and stuff too. Like it goes like, okay, in today's video, fuck, you know, like literally like my editor has to go through all that sort of stuff as well. So it's pretty,
I would feel so embarrassed.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And how about like, I guess what would help you? Would showing you like my process, like from start to finish, kind of
I have
help you?
no idea.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how you could get, I don't know how somebody would get faster. Like luckily my content isn't like super data focused. Like I
Mhm.
can't imagine like people who do like financial stuff like Stephen Graham or Graham Stephan or whatever his name is,
Yeah.
and like all these other financial people. Like you have to go and do your homework before you can talk in front of camera. Luckily, I was just like, yeah, whatever, dating, I've done it, whatever. So
Yeah.
like it's a little bit easier, but still it takes a lot of time for me to script a video. Oh, so like that's a problem. And then I had asked you before coming onto this
Sure.
stream, I just don't know how, like, when I'm scripting, I don't know how long that video is going to be. Because, like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
hit that, like, 10-minute mark, you know?
Are you struggling hitting that 10-minute mark at the moment?
Not recently, but
Yeah.
then it's also, like, I don't want to be making, like, a 20-minute video either.
Well, we'll go into, so I think what we should probably do is like, let's tackle one problem at a time. Right now, like the first question you had was like coming up with ideas. Is that still an issue for you at the moment right now? Did you want me to go over that with you?
Sorry, what was the question?
You like earlier you asked me like you're having trouble finding ideas at the
Oh,
moment.
no, actually, I
No?
have a laundry list or
Okay.
a CVS receipt list of
Oh shit.
of ideas.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So that you're cool with, but it's really kind of like scripting out the ideas, making sure that it's valuable and stuff like that as well. Is that right?
Yeah, time management. Because, like, yeah, I mean, you know, if YouTube is all about the long game, and
Yeah.
I don't want this to be like a treacherous process where it's like time consuming and I can't keep doing this kind of thing.
The more friction you can remove, the better. And so as you lean out your process, like it'll get easier and easier and you'll waste less time. You'll waste less time, but more importantly, your energy. Your energy is everything, especially camera presence and all that sort of stuff too. So I totally feel you on that. How are you organizing your
Did you
data?
wait? Did you read Brian? Brian's
What did Brian
comment?
say?
As a guy, it's hard to hit 10 minutes.
That's yeah. I'm sure that's why you're single, Brian. Right? Just kidding. Hey, Brian, if you want to jump in this, let me know too. You're more than free to hop in
As a
on this
girl,
as
10
well.
minutes is no challenge.
That was so funny. So funny. All right. Are you using? By the way, are you using any like sort of Asana or like work like type of thing workspace at all at the moment?
um, like I use Notion. Are you asking about what kind of tools I'm using?
Cool. Yeah, you're using Notion. Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, awesome. I don't know how you're using your Notion, but I'll show you my Notion
Okay.
for my board. And this is like my actual live board that I'm doing right now as well. So here is this is my video base, guys. So if you guys don't know, I have so many freaking ideas all the time, right? Um, and so this is where I have all my ideas. Like whenever I see a cool video, I'll actually share it onto my Notion board. Or if I see a cool tweet, for example, what's this one? Oh yeah, if I see a cool tweet, it'll just like automatically paste. It's really easy to do this, by the way, but this is how I cure. Like I have so many freaking ideas, and then once I figure out the ideas that I want to do, I move them in my Kanban view. And if you don't know what a Kanban view is, are you familiar with what a Kanban view is, as
No.
well, Lisa?
Is this what it is or is it not?
So let me put it in pharmacy terms, right? You know how you go retail pharmacy terms. What's patient comes to the pharmacy?
Oh,
What's
so
the
it's like a
first step?
workflow. I mean, yeah,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
have it. Yeah, that's how
Cool.
like they kind of was it Notion already puts it in that format.
You have to assign the categories, but yes, you move it. So these are the custom categories I use. So I have like a researching one. If there's any stats or anything I need to do, writing.
So like I see that like all your videos are like they're kind of everywhere. They're all these different videos are in different various process in the work.
Because I'm working on them as we go as well. And
See,
so
like for me, like I only work on one video at a time.
Ooh, okay. So that's interesting. So the key to this to saving your energy is batching, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, like, I would like
yeah,
to.
kind of like how you how if you fill like 3 prescriptions at like back to back, you're a lot quicker than filling one prescription, talking on the phone, going back. Oh, then somebody wants to like pick up something. Yeah, making sure that you batch everything is really
So then, do
important.
you spend like one entire day writing 3 videos?
Yes. Yeah. So like today was my writing day. I didn't finish. I usually try banging out like 4 videos of scripting. Tomorrow's usually my shooting day. And then I outsourced to my editor. But if I were to edit, then I outsource. Then I would if I were to do it myself, then I would have one full editing day too, as well, right?
Okay.
So yeah, just to give you an idea of my workflow is like researching, writing, filming. Shit, hold on. Sorry. Editing, uploaded, review. This is kind of like the final review. This is where we do like all the thumbnails, everything like that. Like we upload that there and we have a published. And then I'm thinking about adding one more column where we do like a QA type of thing because we've been like looking at the analytics at each and every week about what did well, what didn't do well as well. So we've been diving deep into that, but that's a little too advanced, right?
Mm.
So basically, you see all these videos. These are actually scheduled. I scheduled these out. Now, some of them right now are kind of off just because we had to reduce our time. But if you like, we had to reduce the videos that we are doing per week because my editor was getting burnt out. But
Oh
like, I
man.
scheduled all this out all the way up until April. So we're
So like
gonna,
these published schedules you're saying?
yeah. So I have the workflow I have like in my, if you take a look at my Notion board, usually this is like I usually 3 days before the raw edit is due for my editor, and then about I don't know how many days I calculate for filming day and writing day as well, but I have it all written down as well. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like my workflow
I think
at the
that's
moment.
nice, like that you actually like dedicate like writing days because like that way like you have to like keep yourself accountable basically.
Yeah, and plus it just helps like just knowing that all I'm doing today is just writing. But the writing days are actually the most intensive days. So
It is so draining, man.
yeah.
Like I told you, like I spend the entire day just writing one video, and like I think it's kind of hard for me to write three because like I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is good enough. Kind of like the mindset, like, oh, maybe I need to add a little bit more. I gotta change the phrasing on this one sentence, kind of thing.
But here's the thing, you can always reshoot another video that does a lot better in the future as well, right? Like you can do remixes. So if you saw my don't do pharmacy video, I didn't really like that video. So I did a remix on it like maybe a few months ago as well. And now that's starting to trend. Actually, that's going to, I think that's,
So
hasn't,
like,
go ahead.
um, how is it that I don't know, say that was like 5 years ago, right?
Sure.
Um, how is it that 5 years ago you writing that script changed from today you writing the script? I would think that your way of writing has, I don't know, does your way of writing improve over time?
This is going to go so meta, but this is like I was actually writing a script on this as well. Like, so it's so funny. I believe it or not, I actually didn't believe it or not, Lisa, I actually didn't have a process before. And I would write shit on pieces of paper. I would do bullet points. I would sometimes do it
That's how
on
J.K. Rowling became J.K. Rowling.
dude, sometimes I would do it on like sometimes I would do it in like back when I had a iPad or iPod. I would like write in notes and then sometimes I have on page. I had it all over a fucking place, dude. I was so unorganized. But it wasn't until more recently, probably like 2 years ago, when I moved to Asana, but I wouldn't stick to Asana. And then we started using like different tools. Notion's the only thing I actually really stuck with because I actually love Notion. I have everything on Notion as well. So
Mhm.
because it's all in one and I really like it. So I didn't really have a process before, but if I were to show you my process, like let me show you like how I do this like from scratch actually. I won't show you this one, but
Also, I
so
think like maybe like the pharmacy school like perfectionist kind of mindset might be a hindrance in a
yeah,
way.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm like, oh, this isn't good enough. I have to keep working on this until it's perfect or like good enough.
Yeah. So this is kind of like my dashboard. Let me do full width. This is my dashboard, right? So whenever you start something new, you don't see anything at all, right? But some things to really keep in mind is like doing templates will really save your time. I don't know if you know Notion like that, like where you can set templates, but you can
Yeah.
actually set templates and stuff. So I always click here and then I have all my, now you guys who are watching this, now you know how much time I fucking put into my YouTube videos. Like it
Nobody
gets
appreciates
intense.
me.
Yeah, no, but it gets intense, right? So this is actually something I added new. This is not Ali Abdal. This is actually me, and I brainstormed it after my conversation with Michael from JK Films. But before I even start a video, I asked, "Hey, why is this topic important to me?" Because you have to like your video. If you don't, like, trust me, I've shot so many freaking pharmacy videos that I want to blow my brains out, dude. Like, I want to commit seppuku, right? And so like those topics aren't really important to me. So chances are I'm not going to give a really killer presentation anymore on that, right? Second thing is the story that I'm presenting vulnerable and can they relate to it? Can the audience relate to the story,
That's an
right?
interesting one.
Yeah. So I like to tell stories because when you are doing like a presentation or convincing or like making it memorable, it has to hit three things. Comes from Greek, but I think I mentioned it yesterday on my stream. But logos,
Oh, I learned that
ethos,
in like
pathos.
middle school.
Yeah, but it's the same concept, and a story actually hits all
Ethos, right? And then
ethos. Yeah. Do you remember which one? Well, the audience probably doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
yeah, it's a
But
bunch of gibberish.
when I'm talking about ethos, right? That's trust. All right, that's building trust. Logos, that's logic. So facts
And
and
then something
figures.
for emotion, right?
Yep, pathos is
Pathos.
emotion.
Okay.
So the pathos is like the story like luckily a story hits all these type of things. When you talk from experience and telling a story that relates to your audience, you're building trust and the emotional side. And if your story, for example, you did a video about how you got ghosted and stuff, how you kind of like overcame or how you dealt with that situation, that's the logos part. Like, hey, these are the 3 steps that I did to do XYZ, anything like that, or statistics. There's a few ways to build your argument through that. Okay. But regardless, stories are important. I got sidetracked. Okay. Stories are super important. And then why is this topic important for my audience? Is it important for others to share? Right? Like, is it important enough to share for others to know? That wasn't worded that well, but basically what I was trying to say was that is this absolutely essential for people to really know, or is it just like a bullshit topic type of thing? Are other
Right, is there
people?
need for
Yes,
this?
exactly. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of like before I start. If I can't answer these, this is very new. This is actually I started implementing this about 3 days ago, actually, believe it or not. Right. So this is before I start, and that's what I like to ask myself every single time. The next thing I do is I write headlines. There's a lot of different headlines. I have a swipe file of headlines that I do. I have some Think Media ones, which some I like, some I don't. I tend to really like the how to, but interesting enough, I've been playing with the how I'm like doing XYZ. That tends to do a lot better. I'll show you my analytics on that as well. But so there's some of that. There's yeah, so I have swipe files. I like to write 10 different headlines before.
Can you share that template? I'm like, I would like to have that.
Yeah, I got this from Tech Lead's course, like how to survive, the biggest mistake, the real secret to the fastest way, all these sort of things. I'm sure Charlie has a swipe file too, but like, yeah, I stole these all from like people as well. So yeah. But anyways, it's just there just in case I need some inspo. This is also a time, for example, like if I'm doing like if I'm doing a specific topic, right? So you see like over here, I have a URL section. Sometimes I get really inspired by like before we even start anything, I usually look at like view count to subscriber ratio. So like for example, what's a topic in LGBT dating? right now?
I mean, like I guess the
Tinder.
apps or
Huh?
what?
Sorry?
Like the apps like you're gonna use, or what do you mean?
Sure,
Like
sure.
how to
What's
get
like a
matches, basically?
yeah, like I don't know what the search terms are for like LGBT, like
I mean, it's like mostly pretty much this. That's the thing. Like it's similar unless you
Tinder
throw in
for
LGBT.
lesbians. Would
You
that
could look
work?
like how how do lesbians date? I guess I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Cool. How do lesbians date? Okay,
No, how to
cool.
talk to girls. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, how to talk to girls. So, I mean, before any of this, how I get like if I'm doing YouTube research as well, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at kind of like the subscriber to view count ratio, or actually view to subscriber ratio. And what I'm looking for is like a higher view count. And this all goes to my friend as well. Like he taught me this, but like you can see like I'm trying to look for over a 2-to-1 ratio. 1-to-1 ratio is okay, but 2-to-1 tells me that it's like really being pushed out by the algorithm, assuming that they're not doing paid traffic. So for example, red flags in lesbian dating, 15 to like 1.5. That
Okay.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's actually really good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
let's look at other things. Okay, so you get the point, right? And so then like I'll take hold on. I'll look up like similar videos to this and see the other titles like as well. So I'll look at some of these titles, which ones are doing really, really well. I look at some of the thumbnails just to get a little bit inspo. I actually don't like this thumbnail, but probably
Yeah,
like
I don't
this
like
is,
it either.
but probably this like headline is really, really good. And that's why it's doing really well. So that's to give you a little preface about like before I dive into the rest of the tactics, right? But so yeah, I'll rate it out like different titles. You might be asking yourself like, how do I know if a title is really really good or not? And the truth is, you don't always know. But I use this app called Co Schedule, and it's a headline thing, right? So, for
Do you have to pay
example,
for that,
no,
or
this
is it
one's
free?
free.
Okay.
Um,
I think I actually have it, but I never touched it.
hold on, lesbian love coach. Thank you. um So like I just copy and pasted this one. It actually is not a great title, but just because something is not a high score, like it's out of 100 by the way. Just because something is a high score doesn't mean it's bad, but it'll tell you like, hey, the comment like there's a certain formula for really really good thumbnails
Headlines.
as well,
Okay.
right? But then again, yeah, headlines. But then again, you could stuff all these terms and it would pop out, hey, this is a really great headline. So you just got to take it with a grain of salt.
Gotcha.
So after I get like I'll look at the 10. I mean, some people even ask their audience like, hey, which title do you like the best? They have them vote on it. That's fine. But regardless
I'm
what I
not there
do,
yet. Yeah, I think you have to like be monetized before you can get that like option to ask your
yeah.
audience.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, but people do on Instagram or any of those other platforms off other
Okay.
platforms too. You can do that. But and this is also where I'll do like a thumbnail. So let's take the thumbnail for this video that we did. I'll drag it into here and just have it here. So that's our thumbnail for this video, right? And then let's say that's the title we're going to do. I usually bold it, underline it, just so that my editor and we all know that that's the title I'm going to go for. Okay, cool. So sometimes like this is what I like to do. The reason why I do the thumbnail and headline, because it's going to dictate the rest of the video and the whole mood. So spending more time on your thumbnails is really, really important as well. Like it's one of the most important parts.
Huh, if I have time. That's like the the finite resource there.
Yeah. But so I look at this, I'm like, okay, this might look really good. This might really look good on different platforms and stuff like that. Fine, but let's say like so I have this really long word, right? And obviously like, okay, this looks good, but it gets cut off here. So like it allows me to look at like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it allows me to see if any words are cut off. And so let's say if I have a really 100 on the co-schedule type of like headline app, right? And let's say if it's 100 out of 100, but it doesn't show everything, it doesn't matter. I have to cut things out so that it'll show on like regular, like home, small, and all that sort of stuff. At least the main important words that I want that I want as well. Does that make sense, Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like you basically want to have like a good title where it's not going to be cut off. Otherwise, like all these words that you're putting into it, it's not being seen.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. I don't really use this anymore. I used to use it a lot in terms of like thinking about who my audience is and all that sort of stuff. I think this is a better framework, which I'll dive into in a second. But then I also have a notes section too. So like the notes section is like, let's say if I was watching this like red flags in lesbian dating video, right? And there were a few good points. Maybe I like 2x it and stuff and run through the video. And they're like, oh, I liked at 44 minutes 44 Tinder tactic or whatever, right? Or if there's like I really want to use this like B-roll shot, and then maybe I'll copy and paste it over here and drag it over here. So I'm just like, okay. This is optional, by the way, but
this is all like in the preliminary steps when you're doing your research, right?
Yes, exactly. So we haven't even gotten to writing yet. But then I go even further, and I always like to tell a story. I think this is the most important part. So I'll highlight which parts are most important for your stage, Lisa, because you probably don't need to do everything, but I want to show you like the level I'm doing it. And there's a level above what I'm doing too. Like Ali is like even fucking crazier about what he does. So
yeah, I'm sure he's like a full-time YouTuber. I'm like,
no, he has a whole team. Like there's no possible way that you can do it. But I'm going to highlight which ones are important to you by the end of this too. Okay. So then usually I tell a story. I like to like break down who the characters are. What do they want? Why can't they get what they want? What are the stakes? Who or what helps them? How do they get what they want? How they transformed? So it's a very natural story arc. I'll show you a real example too about a video I did earlier as well. Mm-hmm. So you can see that as well. And then I have branding components too. So this gets a little complicated, but if you want to see like my branding components, basically I started this. Oh, this is not my branding components. Hold on. So in terms of my branding components, like I have my values and all that sort of stuff. So like things like, hey, I believe in freedom. Like I don't want to be in a job that I don't enjoy. Like I believe that happiness is a choice, right? I believe that, hey, real fulfillment comes from learning, leveling up our skills, challenging ourselves, things like that, right? Mm-hmm. I got to redo this. This is more of a living document. It's not like it's all done yet, but I have like my rituals. What do I say every single time, right? I also have like certain icons, right? So in my older videos, I used to have like a Pikachu in the back and stuff like that. Or I mentioned certain characters. All these branding components, they give a certain look and feel. I'm not saying if you have a certain intro or outro. So the new one that I'm experimenting with my new videos is like at the end. I'm just saying, I think it's like stay bold, stay kick-ass or something like that, right? For kick-ass investing or something like that. That's like one of my outros, or like how I introduce myself in all my newer videos, where it's like, or my older videos, I used to be like, hey, what up? It's your boy, Kevin Yee, the Farm D. So those are the constant branding elements that I include. And so what I like to do is just like list them out, intentionally list which ones I'm going to use in this video. So if there's any stories,
I've never even gotten to this part yet. Like, yeah, that's, I mean, that's really important because like everybody has like their own little thing. Like Grand Stefan has his like avocado toast and 5-cent coffee thing. So that's his little thing.
So it's really important to start documenting these. I'm really bad at this, so I wouldn't listen to me. but I'm trying to be more intentional about it and trying to lean it out. So I actually need to go back and redo some of this as well. But yeah, so that's kind of like the storyboard, but the story is a lot more important than the right part as well. Okay.
Mhm.
And so what I like to do is like I always start off. So this is the writing part, the scripting part at this point. So we have the story, we have all this sort of stuff. And so what I like to do is like I always like to start with a hook. So there's a lot of different ways you can hook, but I mean the simplest one you can never do is like, hey, in today's video we're going to be talking about how to pick up women on Tinder as, I don't know, as a lesbian or something like that, or LGBT community or something like that, you know? So that's a simple hook and it's genuine too, because that's what you're actually going to talk about.
Yeah, like I don't know how to write. I mean, I'm sure there's courses on how to write hooks, but like I don't have any background in terms of what
I didn't have
background.
I didn't have background either. So but that's kind of like an easy hook. You can do it.
Yeah, and that's what I did. That's what I do. I mean, I've seen other, videos, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
They just straight up be like, hey, today we're talking about XYZ.
Yeah. So that's a decent hook. I don't think it's the best hook. In my opinion, I think curiosity hooks are a lot better. Sometimes you can open with the story, but just keep it simple, Lisa. Like just do that. In today's video, we're going to be talking about XYZ and we're diving into it right now. Cut or straight into your story, straight into your intro. So like what I like to say is like, hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kevin. I'm a former pharmacist, YouTuber, and entrepreneurial guide, not guru. Some of the topics I talk about on this channel are productivity. What's the second one? Productivity, personal development, and entrepreneurship, right? Stuff like that. I have two different ones. Yeah. And on this channel, we explore the people, strategies, and tools that help us live a happier, productive, kick-ass life. And I share my insights on, So I'm experimenting with this. So if anybody's been watching my videos recently, like they know that I've been like changing this up a lot till I find something that really resonates with me, honestly. So this is a living document, but I always have it here just so that I don't have to rewrite this shit again, because my intro will always be the same pretty much, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing too. I've just been copying and pasting the intro.
Yeah. And so what I like to do like from here is like so that's kind of like the intro of what I do. And then what I do is actually I copy paste this section and I paste it in here.
What section do you copy and paste?
The story outline.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, for example, I might be saying, hey, today we're talking about how to use Tinder, today, right? And so how I like to do it is start off with a story. And sometimes the best stories are from personal experience. And that's how you overcome like imposter syndrome. And I think that's how you get over the whole like jumping through this hurdle of like writing. It makes it a lot easier when you're talking about stuff that you've actually gone through yourself in the past, right? That's why I liked one of your videos about the Tinder thing too. I thought that was really, really solid. Like how you got ghosted, or on Hinge, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a more personal video. I know like when I was doing, because I bought Charlie Chain's course. His videos is all about like educational content. Yeah. So a lot of my videos are geared towards educating like how to do XYZ, tips on so-and-so. And that's what I did. And then a couple of my videos are more like personal. That one, like I told you, was the ghosting story, which actually came, like at the end, there was like a lesson to be learned. And then the other one I did like I reviewed a bunch of straight like Tinders. I thought it was like a funny video. So I include that.
There's a lot of different ways you can structure a video, but like, I think a story is actually, it blends the two. It blends the personal and it blends the how-to as well. So I think that's the ultimate way to do it. There's no right or wrong way. Like you can do a straight up like 3-point video as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But
what's a 3-point video?
Like in today's video, we're going to talk about the 3 things that blah, 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 blah. 3 is a really magic number because people can retain it and it's simple enough. Like it's simple and it hooks
Mhm.
people enough. If I were to be like, hey Lisa, in today's video we're going to talk about the 97 freaking hacks of Tinder. Yeah, no way in hell you're staying till 97, man. Right? Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Mhm.
But the reason why I like the story arc is like, okay, maybe you're the character, or maybe you're describing the person that's watching this as well, right? I've tried both, but I think describing yourself is like a lot better. So, for example, you know what? Recently, I was actually on Tinder, and I met this person up, right? And then you naturally go like, all I want is just like a freaking, I don't know, like a good date. I don't want a fucking nightmare date or to get ghosted or anything like that. I don't know. I'm making this shit up, but you get what I mean. Like you talk about what you want and then you talk about the struggle. Like, why can't you get what you want? You talk about like what happens if you don't change, what happens if you don't get what you want. And then you might talk this who or what helps them. It might be like a person, it might be a
Mhm.
method that you create, like, oh, today we're gonna talk about the, I don't know, the laid method, how to get fucking laid on, like, I don't know, on Tinder or some shit. You can make up shit, right? But the real meat of the actual education comes at this point. It's the how, right? So this is like, okay, step one, like this is how I feel. I don't want to use Tinder because I don't know shit about Tinder. I had to look up like
Oh my
analogy.
god.
Yeah, I don't know shit
You're
how to
so
use,
out of touch. You're such a boomer.
bro. Like, yeah, I don't. I'm old school, man. Um, but like for example, like let's what's an example I can think of?
Sorry, I'm just reading the chat.
Oh, is there a chat? I totally forgot, dude. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
even.
I'm like keeping an eye a little bit on it.
Okay.
Brian's
Oh,
like, how to pick up women on Tinder. I just want to know how to pick up women, period.
pick up women on their period, Brian. Is that what is that
Oh
what you're
my
trying to
goodness.
do? Yeah, but you get the point. This is where the 3 steps kind of comes into play, right? Like you can do, hey, tip number 1, this is what I learned. Tip number 2, tip number 3. This is the how part. So it's kind of like
Wait, okay, you said number 6. How do they get what they want? Who is they?
it could be whoever the character is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it could be like, hey, the person watching this, your custom avatar. By the way, I have a target market avatar as well. Yeah, so I have different ones. This one's actually kind of based off you. Sort of,
Oh.
not really, but like female, really into productivity. I actually thought about you when I was doing this. There's another
Is that why
Lisa.
my name's on there?
No, there's another Lisa I know
Oh,
that's a
okay.
pharmacist too.
I'm
But
also 27.
yeah, so maybe this is you, right? But I have like these documents too, like the storyboard too. What do they want? Why can't they get what they want? Like as well, right? Balancing life and pharmacy is hard. That's you right there. Time management is tough and you struggle to balance with. So like I wrote this in depth and that's what I'm imagining when I'm talking to someone, right?
Okay.
It's either like sometimes it's a younger version of me too, right? Like there's that.
I really like that because like I know I was in a struggle position before, and that's kind of like the purpose of why I want to make this content is because, like you said before, like kind of looking back at your old self, like how would this information be beneficial to your old self?
Yeah, and sometimes that's the character. And what's really interesting too, I know like a lot, like my target avatar frequently, my ideal target avatar, they might not hate pharmacy completely, but they know they don't want to stay in it forever. I like that's the level of research that that's the level of depth you need to go into as well, right? And all that as well. So this is how I actually lay out my stories for my target avatars too. But when I'm thinking of a specific video for a specific problem I'm solving for, the same format. And then how are they transformed? So by doing these steps, what happens? What's the transformation? What are the tangibles? What are the outcomes as well? Right. So does that
Yeah,
make
that's like
sense?
the golden nugget. Like that was, I know when I was telling my story or making my video, like that, like I want somebody to, be able to walk away from this video, not just like hear me whine about this unfortunate
Yeah.
encounter with this girl, but be able to be like, oh, I learned something.
It's a takeaway.
Yeah.
Now when I first message someone, I just ask them straight up, "Are you gonna ghost me, you bitch?" But
Bitch, are
you
you
get,
lying to me?
yeah.
Are you even a
But
girl?
Yeah. So then like that's the value part. So that's like kind of everything as well. And then I have the end screen sales pitch. So what I like to do, oh yeah, so my new saying is stay bold, stay kick ass or whatever. But anyways, like the objective to this is like, hey, what you don't want to say is like, hey, that's pretty much it, Lisa. Like, that those are my 3 steps. No, you don't want to end like that. So
Oh
what
no,
you
I
want
know
to
for sure not to end like in a shitty way.
no, but it's like, hey, chances are if you like this video on how I pick up girls on Tinder, you might like my video on how I pick up girls on Hinge. Or you might like, I usually like to do like 3 CTAs and I stack them. So my goal is like to add these end cards so that they click at least on one of the videos, right? So I do it in the like I do it in priority. So the number one thing I want them to do is like to engage with another video because I want to right now my goal is like kind of keeping them on the platform and keeping them in my ecosystem so that YouTube will recommend more of my videos. If you do a CTA, like, hey, check out these stats on this external website, right? YouTube's not going to recommend your videos if that's the case, especially when you're starting up. So you want to try to keep them in your ecospace. But usually this is what I do. I recommend one video. Sometimes I'll do a playlist, like I'll recommend to a playlist. If
Like, do you recommend it in the video or do you do
yeah.
like an end screen card? Because that's what I've been doing.
I do both. So I do both as well. So there's the end screen card, but there's also that part where like I'm like in the video, hey, chances are if you like this video, you want to learn more about dating, you'll like my video on how I got ghosted on Hinge. It's about XYZ, but hey, maybe that video is not for you. You're trying to brush up on your dating, your online dating game. I've actually created a whole playlist focused on this that'll help you do that. You can click in the cards and start binge watching that shit.
So
right?
when do you say that?
This is after like the story, after the transformation piece as well, right? Mm-hmm. And then usually I like to do last CTA. If all else fails, I'll usually do like I'll usually do my email list or something like that. But you don't have one, you don't need to worry about that at the moment. But that's pretty much it. And then I have like best practices of how to do stuff like description, monetize. This is pretty much everything you have in vidIQ and TubeBuddy as well. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's like the general outline. Knows that was a lot. Do you have any questions on that so far?
No. Somebody else in the chat had asked if you were willing to share that template.
Depends. I don't know. Like I have a lot. I probably need to scrub it if something. But let me see what's going on in the chat right now. I would have to think about it honestly. Maybe I'll do it. Let's see. Wow, I have a shit ton of comments, mostly by Brian. I gotta ban him. My chat was disabled. Oh, it's hard to hit 10 minutes. Okay. Kanban is very popular. Woo, could you share that template with me? Says Isaiah. Yeah, I'll think about it, guys. Like I gotta think about it as well. I really like that subscriber tip. I'm going to use that for all my future videos. Hey folks, says Haz. Isaiah says, hey Haz, how to pick up women on Tinder. Whoa, duo stream. Hello, is this part of the business program? So true, very common in our 30s, 10 max. That's inappropriate, Kevin. Somebody's asking a pharmacy question. Okay, great. CTAs at the end, pretty solid for people, getting people engaged. Okay, cool. So those are all the comments. Perfect. All right, so that's like the writing process. And what I want to show you is like a video that actually recently did.
Well, like my question, because like obviously that was a lot of information. And what do you think I should focus on?
Yep. So I'll highlight that too, but I just want to show you what it looks like in live action. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's do a personal one. What I learned from my breakup as a Asian American, right? Fuck, I didn't do one for this. Must have been an old video. Fuck, hold on. Let's do this one, I think. Did I do...
What do you do with like all, because like right now you have 16 unpublished. Like I'm sure you've made so much more videos beyond 16. What do you do with all those cards?
The cards?
Yeah, like the squares is what I'm saying, because I'm sure it's going to be like, I guess it's just going to pile up, right?
Oh, you can hide stuff. So if you
Oh,
really
really?
want, you can, yeah, you can filter out by date, like older than whatever.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't. I don't care. I think it's sorted by date at the moment. I don't think so. Actually, no, it's probably not, because saying my November favorites and it's already January. So I don't know, but you can set up filters. I don't really care too much about it because I can just like search a specific video up here if I really need
Oh,
to.
okay. Gotcha. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Which one was I doing? Oh yeah, this video did really well. I renamed it to something else, which I gotta change it later. But basically, this one's not a good one. This one's not filled out completely. Where's my Ali video? That one was good.
I think I saw it earlier.
Okay, this is like a really good video that's performing right now. I spent a lot of TLC on this video, but
Oh, question. So, like, if you say you upload a video and it's like a shitty title, and you change it later, would to a better title, would the YouTube algorithm be able to pick it up later?
yeah,
Okay.
there's actually cool tools like with TubeBuddy where you can like, where I'll tell you, sorry, it'll tell you like which videos are have high potential based off like the backend analytics. So let's say if your one of your videos has a lot of watch time, or like I'll show you the analytics a little bit later. Actually, we'll dive into that a bit later, but I'll show you like what this looks in real time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I usually post the final thumbnail, but I didn't do it this time. But like you can see, like this was real time. Like I was trying to think of different ways to incorporate, like do a thumbnail. I think the final thumbnail was like, that was the final thumbnail. So yeah.
Oh, you didn't even include his face.
No, but and that's the thing too. Believe it or not, thumbnails with like one or two people, like it's more important to have my face on there than Ali's face, believe it or not.
Oh.
And that's what he says from his analytics. So I just transferred it. It's doing really well right now. I'm like clearly number one right now, right?
Okay.
Who knows?
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I did this really in depth, so I have notes and stuff like here too, like it's me back and forth with my editor and shit, right? So I have my feedback and stuff like that of like b-roll. This is kind of like the b-roll that we incorporated. You don't have to go as detailed as this, Elisa. It's just to show you what it looks like.
I don't even have b-roll right now.
It's okay, you like don't worry about it. But like I even have like this b-roll like on my in the actual video. So I instructed my editor when to edit it, put this in as well. So blah blah blah, more b-roll. Okay, great. So the story, right? This is kind of like the story of what I did as well, right? They're trying to, like, I try to put myself in their shoes to see like what would make a kick-ass review. And so this is kind of like the story outline, right? The how, I actually copy and pasted it. I think I copy and cut it and put it down.
That's why it's not there. Okay.
Yeah, that's why that's not there. But like I actually wrote out a script, my results, who it's for, who it's not for. You don't have to script every single word, by the way. But you can even do some bullet points too, for especially for,
yeah, like, so there was talk of when I was using Charlie Chang's course, he did like, compare the two, either using bullets or using script. And he was suggesting that if you're new, scripting would be easier. And then when you get more comfortable, bullet points would be better. So like, I don't know if I'm quite comfortable yet to do bullet points.
I'll tell you this. If you're talking about your own stories, you could probably get away with bullet pointing and it would help you become like better with camera presence. Okay. But since I'm selling in this video, I want to script this shit out because it's like I want it down to exact science and make sure that I'm bringing up all the points. I'm not forgetting anything, right? So the reason why I went balls to wall for this video, because I knew that it could be revenue producing, right? And when that's the case, like that's when I fully script. But sometimes I do the lazy way too and just like bullet out points as well, right? So like, yeah, I did copy paste it. You can clearly, like, I copy and pasted all this shit, and I had different points, like, oh, is it worth it? Like, what I've personally done. There's different sections of what I've done in each of these as well, right?
God, your video was like an hour long. I can't imagine how long the shooting took.
It took 3 or 4 hours.
My God.
I paid my editor like extra to really spend a lot more time on it, but it netted me like almost $2,000 like last week doing this type of video. And then I have like who it's for, who it's not for. I did extra points too. And then final message. I was going to try to do a final message, but hey, you know what? The transformation I was trying to give, hey, they finally feel like they have everything, the support they need to create a kick-ass YouTube channel. I went years and years trying to wing it, but if you had the blueprint in front of you, I could have taken advantage of that compound effect as well, right? And then if you found this video helpful, I was selling in this one, but if we go to another video, sorry, let's go to one I'm actually filming right now. This is how I broke down my 3,001 week video. So I have like my 3 points of how I made 3,000 in like one day, or like 2,000 one day. I can't remember. But here it's like, hey, so chances are if you enjoyed this video, you're enjoying my part-time YouTuber Academy by Ali Abdal, whether you're looking to start up your YouTube channel. Well, I shot that review because I mentioned it a few times in my video. Like I even have a whole section, so it's relevant, right? Like this is the part where I made a lot of money through Ali's. The other thing is I refer another video, and then I do newsletter as well, right? So that's kind of like my CTA and all that. So does that make sense so far? Like live action? All right.
Wait, what live action?
Well, like that's what it looks like live in action.
Oh, okay. Like how you are working through this template to get to your final product, which is your video.
Exactly. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God, if only I had time. That's the thing. Like I just like.
So let's fast forward into the most important part. Like you don't got a lot of time, so what do you do, right? And
so like what I do is just like I said, like I write it on one day, and I think, like I mentioned before, I look at my script and I'm like, okay, is this long enough? Is this going to be a 10-minute video, or maybe I need to add more content? So like I look up more stuff and I type it out, and then I think what's helped me a lot is like I read it out loud. But yeah,
keep in mind, Lisa, you're going to get better over time. I mean, you're just like what
is like am I going to be faster at writing, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. You'll be faster.
It's hard for me to like know what my future self will be.
Like, dude, you're like, think about it like this. You spend all this time in like pharmacy school. It took you a long time to get there, right? But instead of starting, but you're essentially starting in elementary school again. That's where you're at right now, right? Like, yeah.
But like, I'll give you the thing is, like, I don't know what my potential could be, because, like, you know, like if you're an athlete, like when you start running, like, you know, because you've seen other people, they get better at running, so they run faster.
Yeah, and this is like kind of like the process of a 7-figure YouTube channel. So that's why I started modeling this as much as I can, based off the resources I have as well.
Modeling what?
Modeling this process, everything I'm showing you, like this is like pretty intense. This is only like this is only scratches.
Yeah, that's really intense.
But like, yeah, so for titles and stuff, like I think titles are super important. That earlier prompt that I had, do I have anything on here? I don't think I have anything on here. Hold on. Let me delete this.
You know, I really like that you're going through this. This is really nice. And good information for anybody else who is looking into starting YouTube or understanding the workflow of it.
Let's see.
Maybe if you're open to it, maybe we should check back in like a couple months down the road.
Or a couple days. No, just kidding. Yeah.
Sure. It's boot camp.
Yeah. So like I talk about like, I think this part is really important, just like to make sure that your content is just relevant. So you don't waste your time scripting out a video that doesn't fucking matter. Right. That's super important. Titles.
I think I already have that like mentally, like in my head, that I don't have to like write it out.
it's important to write it out too, so you can like actually embed it in your script as well, right?
Oh.
Like when you're doing a hook, right? Like,
Mhm.
why is it important for other people to know? That's part of the hook, right?
Oh, okay.
So like, yeah, so chances are you got ghosted on Hinge, right? And probably you probably don't want to get ghosted again. So in today's video, I like that it just comes out better. It just structures everything out and it helps
Okay.
to just have everything there. I would say titles are really important. Headlines, like super important. Like,
Is that the same thing as titles? Is that what you're
yeah,
referring
same
to?
thing.
Okay.
Thumbnails, super important. Like those two are like these two are like non-negotiable. Like you have to like if
Thumbnails and title?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then like story mapping. I think that's really important too.
That's if you're
It's
telling
either
a
your
story. I mean,
story,
like, well, if you're not telling a story and it's like an educational piece, then what?
it's still a story though. Like so even at the basic things, like let's say if you're not talking about your own story, um you still need to map out the other person that you're talking about their story, right? That what they're going through, who this is for, really empathize with them as well, right?
Mhm.
It makes it more relatable to them, and it instinctually is like, hey, you're a lot like me as well, right? And they'll sit through the video a lot longer. Does that make sense, Lisa?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's actually why I did this. I used to have this outline before, 30-second outline, where it's like, okay, I think about the objective of the content. What's the approach? What's the unique approach I'm going to go for? Who's the subject? Who am I speaking to? What's the hook that I'm going to hook them in with? Point one, point two, point three, close. What am I going to pitch? Like, what's the next step I want them to take? Because like, if I just leave them with the content and he's like, hey, that's it, it's just mental masturbation. They need to be able to do something with it, right? At the end of the day. So yeah. So story is super important. This framework I took from Ali, and I enjoy. I think it sums up everything, right? You just elaborate on your points and you have your video done. So that's pretty much it for all the essentials.
So it's 11 o'clock right now. Did we want to like wrap up with the questions and then?
Up to you.
Okay.
Like,
I do have to go to bed for tomorrow.
yeah.
Let's see here. Brian Fong, CTAs at the end solid for keeping people engaged. Problem is I can't even keep up. At this point, I'm just going to be in all the streams. All right, cool. That's awesome. Definitely join us. Haz Cygnus. Lisa, I see you started recently. What got you into YouTube? Okay, so Haz, I got into YouTube because I thought it was a nice side gig. I'm also thinking of it in the future in case like I don't see myself doing pharmacy. I need something as a backup. And talking to Brian, or not talking to Brian, talking to Kevin, he helped me find my niche that I saw that I could be able to provide value in, and that's why I started. And then Brian, you make me feel bad about shooting my 3-minute matcha tea video. It took 5 hours. Solution for little time, quickie. Even when girls reject me, they'll tell me a story. Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah. So Lisa, I guess like to focus, like just to wrap up really quickly as well. I guess, do you have any final questions for me at this moment?
I mean, I do have other questions, but I think that would be better saved for another day because they could be lengthy answers.
Mhm.
Um, like, yeah. I guess like to just throw in a question. Um, thank you, Huz. Thanks. um, like using vidIQ, I would type up like LGBT content. Like I don't know, it's it's like a measure from 0 to 100. It always seems to be like in the red content, like in the red zone.
Yeah.
And I think there's like two metrics, like one is volume and also like demand or something or whatever. And it's always low volume and like there's not enough people searching for it. So I just like wonder like, okay, this SEO tool that I'm using to measure how good this content is isn't really a good tool for me because
no one looks at that shit, by the way.
oh
Like,
really? Okay.
yeah, no one
That's
looks
good
at
to know.
like
Okay.
like
'Cause
just to make sure we're on the same page, right? Let me pull up that original search term that we had before. You're talking about this, right? You're talking
yeah,
about this,
basically,
right?
yeah, volume and competition. Like when
Don't
I would look, yeah, see, like it's already in the red zone because you're looking up how lesbians date. So it's like, well, nobody gives a shit about
yeah,
what I'm talking about.
no one looks at this shit. And sometimes like TubeBuddy too. I don't have the TubeBuddy up, like, but it doesn't, like, sometimes they conflict each other too. So it's like hella confusing. So honestly, you shouldn't look at it as
What should I
well.
look
Like
at instead?
what I told you. Like the sub, like to sub, sorry, the view to sub ratio. I
Okay.
think that's more important. Also, are you doing tags right now too?
Yeah, I throw in tags.
Yeah. If tags are taking up a lot of time, they actually really don't matter too much. Honestly, like
Well, I mean, I do it while the video is uploading, so it doesn't really take that much time.
it's up to you. But if you're bottlenecked for time, like your time is probably better spent on like thumbs and
Titles.
titles. Um, it's so it's so sophisticated these days where like Google actually like they have a cloud AI or some shit like that where they can read your facial expressions, and they obviously have the captioning service, so they know what the content that you're talking about in their video. So their way of like their AI is like really good. Like tags were really important back in the day, and I used to use tags all the time. I used to be really big on tags, but I stopped putting so much time into them. I just use like TubeBuddy to just like populate tags and shit and just throw them, but I don't spend any time on them anymore. So that's like something very new that I kind of cut out of my strategy.
Okay. I didn't even know that, but like I also wasn't spending that much time on it anyways. So okay. What about the description? Because like I kind of like fumble on that. I kind of just like say whatever and then throw in some like URLs.
Don't worry about like description, honestly. Like it's not like a huge priority. Again, thumbs and thumbnail and headline.
Okay.
Important. You do you want to do one last thing before we sign off, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
Do you mind showing me your analytics at all?
Yeah, you can do that. Let's do.
So let me kind of break down how to look at your analytics really quickly, and let's look at yours so we can focus on like what content is doing really, really hot right now as well.
Okay, so
wow, there's 9 people watching this shit. That's crazy.
How do I screen share?
Let's see. I gotta give you access? You gotta hit that green button.
Oh wait, yeah, duh. Here we go. Share.
Cool. Let's take a look. It says plus 15 in the last 28 days. Great. Everything's up 104%. Perfect. So I'm pretty sure. Okay, so you did 6 videos. Your last video was like 3 out of 10. Can you 3 out of 6? Can you go to that 3 out of 6 type of thing as well? Do you know how to read this, by the way?
Basically, they're ranking your videos and how well it's been doing in the past 11 days.
That's right. Compared to your previous performance on the other
videos, yeah.
Usually it's out of 10, but since you only have 6 videos, like it's out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and keep in mind your data is only like we're working with a small sample size, so it's kind of like it's a little.
Which is why I didn't really want to focus too much on analytics.
Yeah, but one interesting thing I'm kind of curious about is like go to your content, click content on the left side.
Okay.
Go to your most popular video.
This one?
Yeah, your first one.
And you want to do here?
Analytics, yeah.
Okay.
Great. Awesome. So how long is your video? 14. That's pretty decent. Hey, your video is actually pretty good.
I thought that was a really shitty video.
Go down. Like you see that graph? So
That's the engagement, yeah, like, or how, like,
or
the
that's the how long they actually watched the video. It's actually
Mhm.
pretty decent. And so like let me kind of explain like what this is. Like the first part, you see that first sudden drop, like that first dip? Yeah, right
Yeah.
there where it says like 60 something percent. Yeah, right there. That typically people will bounce off because you're gonna typically you'll have a hook in the beginning and they're just like, dude, this is not for me, or this is not for me, right? And so
Mhm.
you'll see a steep decline, but it's a very steady decline from there. So that means people are watching it all the way through. So it's really relatable to it as well. Yeah, and it has that 40.1% there too.
Mhm.
So that's interesting. Go back.
We're
Um,
going back to the other videos?
let's go to reach. Sorry, let's go to reach. 7.4 click-through rate. Obviously, so do you know how the pyramid works, like at the bottom?
I'm guessing it's kinda like a funnel.
Yeah, it's like a funnel. Um, so let me kind of explain this to you. So like YouTube will share your content out to the internets, right? And basically it talks about like the 113 is like of that 1500 that YouTube showed their content, whether it's a sidebar, whatever, like the different, like the total number of impressions, 113 clicked on it, right? And then it calculates the watch time as well. So like one of the metrics that we really care about is like, hey, watch time. And so yeah, that's something you just keep in mind as well. So when you go up, when you scroll up for a second, that's why you have that 7.4 click through rate as well with the impressions.
I'm confused, like, where are they 7.4 out of what?
7.4% are clicking the your
Link?
video. Your video.
Okay, so my question is, where are they sharing my video, this video? Like, I thought it would just be different corners of YouTube.
Mhm. So go into traffic sources.
Okay.
So you said this is where you said 25.9 is external. Browse features. What is browse features? Yeah, home subscription feed, browsing features, right? YouTube search is like SEO. And then
Mhm.
suggested videos, I believe, are the ones on the right. I think on the right or
Okay.
something like that. But if you go to see more for a second too, see more.
Oh,
And if you click like external,
here?
think so. Shit.
No,
Is this
that
the
just like
screen?
filters it.
Where is it? Shit. I can't remember where it is, but it'll tell you like where the sites are and stuff like that too. Like where what exact videos are doing it. Do you want to click like browse? No, 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 no. Let me. This is probably the wrong screen. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Um, okay, so that kind of gives you an idea. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
here it
so
is.
yeah,
Wait, here it is.
here it is. Reddit, like you said, your friend mentioned on Reddit. YouTube is like, what are these? Oh, it's Reddit. So a lot of your traffic's coming from Reddit. These are kind of like the Oh, if you exit out really quick, by the way, too,
Mhm.
you can see the search terms you're ranking for, like to up a little bit. These are
Here?
search terms you're, yeah, if you click see more, like these are all the search terms you're ranking for on YouTube search. So you can like search these terms up and see what other videos are being like like what similar videos are there for yourself. Does that make sense?
Mhm. So how would I use this information?
So you could like, for example, you could like look up lesbian dating app, right? That's a search term people are looking up, right?
Mhm.
And try to rank for that. See what content like is
Do you
really
want me to
great
do that
for that.
now?
No, 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 no. Go back
Okay.
to your you can do that later.
Okay.
But then you can also see suggested videos too that you're being recommended.
Okay.
And then these are the videos that are being suggested. Like people who are watching these videos, YouTube deems that these are like similar videos. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so then you can start modeling after these videos too, assuming that they're doing really, really well. Make sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
like, would it be a bad thing? I don't know. What does it mean if like they're if YouTube is just recommending my other YouTube videos? Because it looks like this is like the bottom 3 here.
It'll do that. I mean, it makes sense because like think about it. When you watch a YouTube video, sometimes they'll recommend other videos by that creator, that same creator. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't look into too much about it. But like for example, her dating app review, that's interesting. That might be a good topic to do if it has that good sub to view to sub ratio as well. Make sense?
So like that's a general topic though.
Yeah.
How does having that view sub ratio matter if
so for example, let's click on that video for a second.
I mean it's a really big lesbian dating app.
Oh, so, but that's a specific video.
I don't know why it's not.
Maybe go see more.
Should we just like
manually search it?
Yeah.
Just copy paste it, I guess. Copy paste. We want to look for that exact video.
I had it. This one.
Cool. How many subs? 5.4.
Oh, yeah. 5K.
Yeah. It might be good. It might not be. I don't think it's worthy of doing a video, but like it'll give you ideas of where your traffic is coming from. That's all I'm trying to say, right? And if it turns out to be super super hot, then you can do a similar video or do your own take on that video as well. Does that make sense?
That's if it's like wouldn't that be if it was like a unique idea? Because like anybody can talk about the Her dating app. That's just like a general topic.
But here's the thing too, right? That's where the power of stories comes in, because you're giving your unique take and unique experience on it as well. So like when I did the review video for the program that I did.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like, what are my unique advantages, right? What are things that other people can't do that I can do really well, do a lot better? And I know for me, I tell really great stories and stuff like of vulnerability, and that's really my strength. So I doubled down on that. I also, on a logical level, I was like, dude, everybody's going to do these crappy 10-minute videos. I'm going to like double down and do an extensive like hour type of video as well. So I'm going into different stories. I'm showing screenshots. I'm going into the weeds and stuff. I'm trying to put myself into that position of like, if somebody was trying to use this app like the Her app or whatever app you're trying to use, like what would someone want to know? What are all the must-haves? And that's where you have to tap into that empathy as well, that I was outlining earlier in the story outline. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, no, I kind of get it, but I kind of want to like dive a little bit more into that. So you said like because like what you just said is like a really good answer to like I guess like a really big question that many people would want to ask. Like, okay, when they talk about a topic that everybody should be talking about, how do you make your video stand out above everybody else's videos? So you said telling stories.
Believe it or not, I have a video coming out on this. I actually just shot it. Somebody asked me the same. Lisa, somebody asked the same fucking question as you.
No, I'm literally that one avatar person that you're talking about, because I'm it.
I have it. Also, I'll show you a sneak preview, I guess, like of the points I wrote and stuff. I think my editor's like editing it at the moment too. It's pretty funny. Let me look for what was it? Oh yeah, how do I create easy original YouTube videos? Okay, here we go. So I think in my first point I talked about, oh yeah, check this shit out, man. This is I'm gonna kick you off for a second of
no problem.
your thing. But if you take a look at my Chrome, how I create original YouTube videos in 3 simple steps. I had someone, yeah, that's my crazy thumbnail that I did. I had someone send like a video to me like asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
But oh yeah, things I talked about, deep dive into your personal brand. So the branding components that we outlined earlier, that's like one way. Like it adds that unique flair and to your videos. Telling your personal unique story. Again, like no one can copy your stories, right? It's your experiences and it's the most powerful thing. It's the most powerful vehicle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, and what's the third thing? Stories. Oh yeah, like I think like with storytelling, this is like with storytelling is like speaking straight from the heart, like not having it overly scripted. And I think like when you are trying to tell stories of times where you struggled, like you know the story, you went through this shit. You don't need to like write every single little thing. And I think that will help your story a lot more. But remembering the important things of like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, or tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, hack 1, hack 2, hack 3, however many you want to do, that's important to write down, but you know the story in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was trying to tell your story, I would need to script that shit out because I don't fucking know your story, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So based off everything that we talked about, I mean, like I think this is some of your this is like some of your action steps. Like shoot more videos like as well, right? That's like one thing, but also like take a look at the videos that are doing really, really well. I think that's something I regret not doing earlier, like is like reviewing what was doing well and doing more of those type of videos as well. If you want to, assuming if you want to do those videos, right?
Yeah, because you know, you have to be in that headspace. I mean, same for you. Like your pharmacy videos did really well, but you obviously don't want to talk more of
I want
that.
to commit seppuku every single fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think like me looking at my like videos now would be beneficial, or is it like still too soon for me to?
Just keep an eye, like I said, if there's something that goes very viral, like you get 1,000 views on your channel, like I'll show you my other channel for a second, right?
What do you think my other videos like? Are they titled appropriately? Like I don't know. Like I think they're good content. It's
Okay.
but I
Um,
don't know. Like maybe I just need to wait for the YouTube algorithm to pick it up, or I'm not sure.
I think so too, but like let me show you my small channel because we're looking at like my main channel right now.
Yeah.
Also one other thing, I actually have the data on this as well. This is my investing channel. For y'all that are watching this, if you guys don't know, I actually have an investing channel. But you can tell when I first started, right? And some interesting things I learned from Ali and that I'm seeing through the analytics data too, is that no text is actually outperforming text in terms of CTR. I'm not talking about total amount of views and stuff. There's a big major thing that happened is that I stopped creating content around this mark. There's like a huge gap here. I stopped for 5 months. It really killed momentum on my channel. You could tell like, oh, I started off really hot and I should have continued it, but I didn't. So I fucked up there. But for example, like one of these videos is performing really fucking well. Oh, it's this one, 13K. Guess what? I have a 34 subscriber like rate. So it's just like those videos, like that's when you gotta pay attention and double down. And so like if you can tell, where should I open up my Roth IRA, Fidelity or Vanguard, right? And so that's when I started like trying to think of, hey, let's try to double down on the Roth IRA content. It didn't do well, but you know, creating more videos like this probably would have been helpful when I saw it was hot. You know, does that make sense?
So at the time, it was hot.
It was
Is it
hot. Yeah.
because the YouTube algorithm is like, oh, a lot of people are searching up Roth IRAs right now, so we're going to promote these sorts of content. But now
Yeah.
that you've kind of waited too long, like that wave of like demand is now over. So now they're not pushing your content. Is that how it works?
I mean, they're still pushing this video out, but they're not pushing like it's not being recommended to my other videos for some reason. But yeah, I still gotta crack the code as well. So we'll have to see. But if we were to take a look at my like analytics for a second for this video too, or for this channel.
Okay. Just letting you know, like I do need to get it
Okay.
soon.
Yeah. This one didn't do well, but my other video did really well. Like this one had a really high like 4%, which is okay. I mean, it's not the best, but like um this video had like I wish I could show you the like ranking 1 out of 10 or whatever, but this video did really really well. It was like 1 out of 10. Like I posted on my Instagram and stuff too. So
Nice.
yeah, that's pretty much it, Lisa. So I would say like, hey, shoot more videos, see what pops up. I hope some of those processy type of things like really help you, but story based, tell your own. Like I think the quickest way for you, Lisa, is just like focus on your own stories, like, and focus on giving advice through your stories. That'll speed up your process a lot quicker. That way you can do like bullet points and batching as well. Right.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. Well, anyways, I'll let you go to sleep, Lisa. Yeah. So
Okay. Yep.
was this
That's
helpful,
about
by the
the
way?
time. Yeah, I thought it was helpful. I
Great.
think it's helpful because like we haven't like caught up in a while in terms of like my YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
um this was nice because like I know we were going to schedule some sort of talk because you messaged me earlier this month.
Yeah.
Um
But before we head off, what was the most useful part, or what are some of the biggest insights before we head off?
like what is the big takeaway message that I got from this?
Takeaways, yeah, insightful moments, stuff like that.
I think it was really nice being able to see like your workflow because everybody has their own workflow. Like Charlie Chang has his, Graham Stephan has his, and I think seeing your process, how you broke it down into these little bits. Granted, I don't think I'm going to be able to like go into that much depth, but seeing how you are able to break it down to exactly be able to speak to your audience in these key like points can help retain and get people to watch your videos.
Mm, Cool. Yeah, thanks for that. All right, cool. So let's wrap up the stream, guys. Lisa, I wish you the best of luck. If you need anything else, let me know.
Yeah,
Let's
we'll
see
keep
how
in
you're
touch.
let's see how you're doing with the channel, like in, I don't know, after you create like more videos. The faster you can get to 100 videos, the better. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, peace out. Talk to you
All
later.
right, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bob Dole says the tricky part about is getting engagement. More people comment, the more they get notified and interact with the comment section, and then go back to the notifications, circle feedback, which will bring views up and push your video without the algorithm. All right, guys, that was a lot. I did like a huge YouTube breakdown, everything that I pretty much like had up on the top of my mind. I hope this was extremely valuable for y'all. But yeah, this is like a new kind of session that I'm trying to do, like deep dives and stuff. So if you guys really like this, let me know. I'll try to do more of these. But yeah, man, that's kind of like the back end of what I do. And so yeah, I'm wishing you best of well, first of all, I'm really fucking tired, but I'll talk to you guys later and take care. Peace, guys.